The following podcast is an Enticing Media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast with yours truly, Nell Tice. I took last week off of a brand new episode so that I could allow some space for people to head on over to the Rhythm of the Road podcast channel to try out a new series that I'm doing with my friend and colleague Jeremy Schreifels called Mixed Media. And we're approaching the subject of creativity and talking all things about it. It's not talked about very often, so we're super excited to move on with that series. So hopefully you got a chance to listen to that. If not, you should head on over there and check it out. So, but I am now moving forward with some brand new episodes for you. And today you've got me solo. I'm doing a solo episode on time management. So I recently have been very interested in this subject because I've gotten busier and I'm trying to manage how to kind of manage it all. So come along with me on the journey as we figure it out together. But I've got some tips and tricks and platforms that I use that maybe could be helpful to you. So I think that it's worthy of talking about this for sure. So I've got 5 tips on how to effectively manage your time so that you can be more productive and more successful in your business or life or wherever it is that you're looking to get more of this skill set into. So let's go ahead and get started. The first tip that I have is prioritize your top 3 tasks that you need to get done in that day. So these are like the 3 non-negotiables. So if you need to prioritize a workout, maybe there's a client project deadline that you have to get to, and there's a YouTube video you need to upload. Those are the 3 things that you must get done in that day. I prioritize those. And if you have to complete one at a certain time, that's fine. But I usually try to knock out those 3 top tasks at the very beginning when I start my day. Just because A, it feels good when you've accomplished something, and B, there are always going to be things that arise throughout the day. So you can't plan those. And if you've already accomplished or at least you've already accomplished a percentage of what you need to get done, then there's a better chance that you can still get done what you need to and maybe touch on some of those things that do come up. So if you find yourself completing those tasks fairly early on, you can always move on to the tasks for the next day. Or delegate some time to your content and marketing or take some time to have lunch, sit down, go outside, read a book, get some sun, go for a walk. And there's always something that can be done, especially if you're a busy entrepreneur, and there's always something you can move on to. But if you can prioritize those 3 things first and get those knocked out, you will feel so much better about your day. And if you have more than 3, by all means, feel free to stack them up. Just don't stack them up so much that it becomes not sustainable for you to keep on track. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find it really hard to keep myself accountable to stay on track. And, there's all kinds of distractions all over the place. And like I said, things that come up, we'll talk about those distractions coming up. So top 3 tasks for the day, prioritized, knock them out right away. That's it. So the next one I have is time blocking. I'm a big fan of time blocking. And so here's how I would approach the idea. If you have a block of time, let's say it's 2 hours, what can you get done in those 2 hours? So for me, I might be editing a video or a podcast, and I've done this before and I know how long it takes. Or you can set up some software, free software that you can download that will keep track of your time. So if this is something that you do routinely, what I would recommend doing is heading over to websites like Toggl, which is Toggl, or Clockify, and you can start timing yourself, track your tasks, and see how long it takes you to do. And then you can accurately time block in your schedule going forward for that task. So it takes me roughly 2 hours to complete a whole episode of a podcast from start to finish, depending on time. And of course, things come up. But that way I can accurately time block in my schedule. And if it ends up taking me less time, that's great. I can move on to the next task. If it ends up taking more time, that's fine too. I find it easier to have to make adjustments when I can have a little bit of a plan and stick to certain boundaries for things, because there's always going to be a list from top to bottom of most priority to least priority. So you can choose in that list where you need to pull from if you need to adjust things. So time blocking is key. I time block everything. I'm talking like from client episode production to showering. Yeah, I time block my showers. And I'll be honest, and Kenny will agree with me, it's not as often as it probably should be. That might be TMI. But at least I'm time blocking it, right? I'm prioritizing. Sometimes I forget to put it on my calendar. I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't leave time for a shower today. That's everybody else's problem, not mine. Anyway, just kidding about that. I do shower just enough. It's fine. Everything's fine. So anyway, you can prioritize meditation, relaxation time, time block for your workouts, time block for everything, time block for coffee with your friend or, a meeting, anything. It really is possible and you can do it. So trust me on that. That is huge. Next, the limit distractions portion of this is probably one of the most difficult ones, at least for me. I do find it really helpful when I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. This actually scared me for a little while because there's always that thought of like, well, what if someone needs to get a hold of me? What if something goes wrong? And if you have kids, this might be a little bit different. Or if you have someone in your family that is constantly depending on you for something, again, might be totally different, depends on your situation, but Do Not Disturb can be your best friend. So I just recently started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb for certain things. Most recently, the radio shows that we do. And part of the reason is because we're broadcasting to a server and my phone's connected to computers and sometimes the calls come through and I was like, I can't have this. The only way to stop it is to put it on Do Not Disturb so you don't get the ringing and calls aren't coming through and everything. And I was like, wait a second. I can do this for other things I'm doing during the day. Mind blown, right? So Do Not Disturb, utilize it. You can set it up for certain things. You can set it up to happen at certain times. It's completely customizable. You can do it. Trust me. Either play some music in the background or don't play music in the background. Sometimes, and studies have been shown that if you listen to, especially certain genres of music like classical or jazz, that you can actually be more productive during your day. Since I edit a lot of video, I find myself having to have a lot of silence because I need to be listening to what's going on in the videos. So when I do photos, I have like a little setup in my studio here for product photos, and I love to crank up the tunes because I can't always listen to music during the day. So that's my time to like have some fun, take the photos, jam out a little bit. And I do find that it helps me be really productive and I can stay focused. So that's pretty cool. But along with those distractions, saying no is also something that needs to be learned in regards to distractions. So there might be a slew of things that you get invited to or you want to do, and you really can't do it all. And some of those things need to be priority, and some of them don't. And the ones that don't, you need to learn to say no to. It's just the hard truth, and it's hard to do. It's really hard to practice. It's really hard to get started. But saying no, in the end, you will think, why didn't I start doing this sooner? Your mind will thank you. Your body will thank you. People around you will thank you, honestly, because you will start to see a little bit of a better, I don't want to say human come out, but it's easier to be level and create a sense of calm when you're not overwhelmed and constantly frantic and running around and building up all of that eventually gets to a point where you just can't do it anymore. I know we've been traveling a lot recently. We've been not saying no enough to some things. And today my body was like, you need to rest. So listening to yourself is also really important. And, this is also something that can be really hard to do. Decluttering. Clutter is absolutely a distraction. If you've got a desk that is full of papers and receipts and bills and folders and all kinds of things, that creates a chaotic space. And that is not something that you need when you are trying to prioritize and manage your time. So clean it up, designate files in certain spaces, and create space for your receipts and folders and stacks of shelving and things like that. It's really important to maintain an organized space to help you be more productive and be the best that you can be at what you're doing. And I really believe in that. I just decluttered probably a week or so ago, and it's like a breath of fresh air. It really is. So the hardest part for me is maintaining it. And when I learn a few tips about how to do that, I'll circle back and we'll have an episode all about that. So limit distractions. That's tip number 3. Number 4 is use technology to your advantage. It exists for a reason. No, I'm not saying that you have to let AI do everything for you. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is pick some platforms that can help you be more productive. Everybody needs a calendar, right? Some sort of calendar or planner or something. I last year had switched to a calendar called Motion, which is an AI-based calendar because it automatically tucks tasks in where you have some free space and things like that. And I just found it kind of clunky. And for the pricing that it was, I didn't see that it was worth it. Now it does have a built-in scheduler app, almost like if Google Calendar and Calendly were one and the same, which was really nice. And that's honestly why I got it, because I just wanted to consolidate. But again, I didn't think it was worth it. So I just recently went back to Google Calendar and Calendly, and they can communicate. It's fine. So a lot less expensive. And I highly recommend color coding on your Google Calendar. It is a game changer. So for instance, any Zoom calls that I have in dark red on my calendar. So when I look and glance at my calendar for the week, I know what days I need to put makeup on or look presentable because of that Zoom call. I have activities that I have to do outside of the house in an orange color. So when I look at that, I automatically know, make yourself look presentable, maybe take that shower. And so that helps me even strategize the rest of my week and helps me save time in planning because of the color coding. So I highly recommend that. It has been a game changer. You also can use other things like Trello or Asana, project management softwares that can really help you consolidate time and manage your time better by not spending as much time on trying to organize certain things and schedule and put things in your calendar and all this stuff. You can set up automations through a lot of these platforms and use them. Learn how to use them or call me. I love setting up a funnel and I will help you get these things set up for you so that you don't even have to do it if you don't want to. So I love doing that. I think it's super fun. I set it all up for myself and I rely on it pretty heavily. So it's got to work, and that's basically it. It's got to work. So I've set up all kinds of different things and automations and funnels to have all of this work and create a lot more space in my calendar. So I'm really happy about that. Utilize your CRM. I don't know. I use Infinity, and it has a lot of capabilities as far as how you can organize your digital files and your calendars and manage project management, things like that. I love it, and I rely very heavily on it. So use it. Keep everything in one space if you want to. That's all well and good. Zapier is your friend when you want to connect automations and certain softwares that don't necessarily automatically integrate. So keep that in mind. Use technology. Okay, so the last step is probably the most important one, even though it's the one that we focus on the least. It's prioritizing self-care. And I know I sound like a broken record, but self-care is everything from doing a face mask to sleeping at night. Okay, so however you look at it, it is so important to get sleep, to eat well, to get your workouts in, to do whatever it is that you need to do to recharge. If you don't recharge and you just continue to go, it catches up with you. Trust me. I know. I'm there right now, actually, and I'm recording this. I'm doing what I got to do, and I get that. We've all been there. It's really difficult sometimes to push through the suck, and sometimes you have to, but you need to counterbalance that with self-care. This morning I woke up, I was so tired, and I felt like I got 8 hours of sleep, but I felt like I got 3. And I said to Kenny, I texted him and I said, I don't know what is planned for the rest of the day or tonight, but I need to rest. And it's really hard for me to say that because I love what I do and I want to keep going. My brain's not exactly connected with my body on that, but I'm just listening to my body right now, and that's what I need. So as much as I want to admit it or not, it's just the way it is. So make sure you are prioritizing you, even if it's just sitting down and reading a book for 20 minutes or sitting in a room that's quiet for 20 minutes. I know kids are getting ready to go back to school. Things are probably a little crazy in your house right now. So make sure, and yes, you can do it. Don't give me any excuses about, oh no, my kids need me, or I have to do this, I have to do it. Find the time. If you don't find the time, something else will and will knock you down off your ass. So make sure you get there first before something catches you. And yeah, that's the way it is. There's a really loud truck going down my street right now, which of course is while I'm recording this podcast. So hopefully you can't hear it. But anyway, if you did, oh well, here we are. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode and got something out of it. If I can be of help to you, let me know. I absolutely would love to chat. Hit me up, enTICEingmedia.com. That's enTICEing media.com. You can get a hold of me there on social media, Facebook, Instagram, mostly LinkedIn a little bit. Don't even try on Twitter. I have it, but I'm not sure why. Or is it X now? Yeah, it's X. I don't even know. But yeah, let's chat. And if you liked this episode, like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We would love to see that and are so appreciative of your support. If you're listening to this on your favorite audio platform, make sure you leave us a review. That is how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast. Lots of exciting things coming up. I've done a lot of podcast guesting lately, so I'll be sure to post a lot of those links in our Facebook at Enticing Media. You can get some of those there. And I'm just trying to think if I'm missing anything else. I don't think so. But yeah, stay tuned for lots more exciting episodes of What the Nell. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast, there is a form. Let me know. Hit me up. I will send it to you so we can do a meet and greet, and let's get you on an episode. So thanks for listening, you guys, so much. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enTICEingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.